Hello, everyone. Hi, good evening, everyone present here in India. I'm Chitra Jain. I'm the recruitment and the marketing advisor at USC Viterbi. And I would like to welcome you all to this Fall 25 Admitted Student webinar. First of all, I would like to introduce to you from my team. I would like to introduce you to Maria from the US team, and she's going to host the webinar with the presentation and all. Then I would like to introduce you to Jessica, uh, who's the USC director of USC US. Then I have Harpreet Kalra, who's the USC Viterbi director of India office.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah.
So then we have Vaidehi Thakre.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, she's the Associate Director of USC Viterbi, India office as well. And we have right now with us our current student ambassador, Devashish. Would you like to, yeah, we'll introduce him definitely later on after the presentation. And we have more student ambassadors joining us soon. So let's start the presentation without any further ado. So I will request Maria to start the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chitra, for the warm welcome. And thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in this evening from India or wherever you may be sitting in this world right now. Most of you are from India. So thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate you taking the time. I know it's late there in India. My name is Maria, as Chitra mentioned, and I work for the USC Viterbi Graduate Admission Office in Southern California at the university campus. And I am joined today by the lovely India team who you just met, and my colleague Jessica as well, who runs our office in LA. So first of all, obviously, congratulations on your admission. We're very happy for you, and we know that you worked hard to get to this place, and we do hope that you will join us this fall. You probably know it's not an easy task to get into the University of Southern California Viterbi School of Engineering, so definitely be proud of yourself. And we're definitely proud of you as well for getting here. So let me take you on your virtual trip to Southern California. Maybe you've been here before, maybe you haven't. And so we just want to give you a picture of what to expect. I also want to note that if you were at any of the welcome receptions for admitted students in India that took place recently, this presentation is actually going to be the same presentation. So it's probably going to sound very familiar if you were there. So feel free to stay if you'd like, if you want a refresher, but also no obligation to stay if you have been to one of our events in India already, because it is going to be the same information. But we do, of course, welcome you to stay. And after my brief presentation, you will hear from our Viterbi graduate student ambassadors who are current students. So I'll introduce them after my portion as well. So as you can see, this is our beautiful campus. And of course, you applied to the University of Southern California, aka USC, because you're considering grad school. So these are some factors to consider while you're deciding. Perhaps you've applied to other graduate schools as well. We know that you probably have other options. And so these are just a few of things that people think about when they are deciding to apply to grad school and what they're looking for. And I'm going to also share with you what USC has to offer in regards to these considerations. So probably if you applied for a master's, you're thinking about your career and academic goals after graduating. You know that these 1.5 to 2 years are going to go by fast, and you want to know, where is this degree going to get you after? You probably are also considering the location of the grad programs. You know that we're based in Los Angeles, California, and so that might have been a factor when you applied to USC. You probably are also concerned about the strength of the university's alumni network. Actually, 2 of our India staff members are alums, and so they have the alumni perspective, and then our current students will give you the perspective of what it's like to be a current student and their experiences with alumni as well. And then Jessica, who's from my office, is also alum. So we have like half of us are alums here. And then research opportunities might be something else that you were considering with grad school. I know the Q&A is going to go crazy while I'm talking, and that's okay. You are welcome to put questions in the Q&A. I will say, though, that I won't be able to answer any of them until after, but the staff members will be helping via chat on the Q&A. They'll be able to reply to you. But I also want to point out that I might be able to answer your question in the presentation. And then some of the questions that are for current students, feel free to drop those in the Q&A and I'll address them to the current students who are here. So USC at a glance. So a little bit about USC. You probably know some of this from your research on the university. However, you might not. We have an emphasis on cross-disciplinary education. So what that means is that while you're an engineering student, you'll also be educated in other disciplines and meeting students from other disciplines as well. And so we do really emphasize that. And then you can see we have some very high rankings that we're very proud of. You can read them on the screen. You can see they're impressive. We also recently started our new university initiatives in computing, and we are dedicated to teaching all of our students to use AI ethically. And then as you can see, we also have a very high international student population. It might not look that high, but in the US, like that's actually one of the highest. So you'll meet people from literally all over the world. Just in Viterbi, we have students from, I think, 80 something countries and all 50 states in the US as well. So you're going to meet people from all different backgrounds. It's really cool. It's an inspiring place to study and to learn and just live in general. Here's some Viterbi quick facts on the screen. So you can see we have applicants from over 113 countries. We have a very large annual research expenditures. You can see our rankings again. Our gender parity is actually very high as well for an engineering school, with 31% female, 69% male. That female number is actually high. We want it to be higher, but it's actually pretty good for an engineering school in the US. We have over 200 tenure track faculty, and we have over 100,000 alumni worldwide just in Viterbi. And Viterbi is one of 22 schools in USC. So of course, we also have a business school, we have a dental school, we have a communications school, etc. So Viterbi is one of those 22 schools. And just in Viterbi, we have over 100,000 alums worldwide, and many of them are in India too. So lots of great people for you to network with that can help you, connect you, and hopefully will lead to exciting internships and jobs and just building connections in general. Here's our 2024 rankings. The 2025 rankings are actually going to be coming out today, and we think that they're going to be really good. So we're excited about that. We're excited to update this slide. But as you can see, our rankings in 2024 were nothing to scoff at. So really, you can see we're really great. We're in the top 25 and even higher for some of the specific programs as well. And so we're really proud of that. You can definitely be proud to come to USC knowing that you're going to get a very high quality education. And if rankings are important to you, then you can see that we have really good ones. And we're also a top tier research university. So tier 1 and R1 research university. As I mentioned before, we have a very high annual research expenditure, and Viterbi accounts for over 50% of USC's research. So as I mentioned before, Viterbi is one of 22 schools. So one of the 22 schools is doing over 50% of the research at the university. That's huge. And so you can see that there's a ton of honestly groundbreaking research going on at Viterbi. Our students and faculty and even alums are really changing the world with their research and working on all kinds of important projects that impact so many different people, and maybe you've even been impacted by. You can see our core research areas are listed at the bottom as well. Probably some of these are interesting to you too. So Frontiers of Computing is a $1 billion initiative, and this has a focus on 3 pillars of technology. So this is something that USC is really focused on right now, and we're devoted to these 3 pillars of technology. advanced AI and machine learning, hardware efficiency and scalability, and quantum computing and big data. So these are things that are important to USC and probably important to you too. And we're devoting a lot of energy and funds to these topics. And we're also expanding our presence and connection to Silicon Beach. So of course, you know about Silicon Valley, which is over by San Francisco, which is north of here. Down here, we have Silicon Beach. So in LA, a lot of the companies that started up in the Bay Area near San Francisco and San Jose, Palo Alto, those towns, they know that LA has beautiful beaches and it's a very inspiring environment. And so a lot of them have opened up their offices down here as well. So all of the big tech companies have offices down here. And then there's also like tons of startups. There's a lot of engineering companies in general that are only based here too. And so we have a very huge Silicon Beach presence. And we even have research facilities owned by USC that are by the beach. So if you love that kind of environment, like being by the beach, sunny weather all the time, I think you will also find it to be an inspiring place to live. Like that is probably one of the reasons why you want to study in LA in the first place, is for the weather too. And then if you're studying CS, you're going to be very excited. We have a brand new home for CS at USC. It just opened recently and it's amazing. It's really beautiful and we have all kinds of smart features there. It's definitely, as modern as it gets. And there's a lot of really cool like opportunities in there for studying, and there's like private pods, and there's even showers. If you commute by bike, you can take a shower there. Like there's so many different places to like relax and study, and there's even like lecture halls in there, and it's really an amazing place to study. So I think you're going to really like the environment, regardless of whether you're a CS student. It's just an absolutely beautiful campus. And you'll probably recognize the campus if you've seen some of the classic movies like Legally Blonde or Forrest Gump, or even like more modern TV shows are being filmed on campus as well. Like a few years back was How to Get Away with Murder. There's a lot of things going on campus, and so it's definitely famous from movies and you'll recognize it. But this one, I don't think has been in any movies yet because it's brand new. And so you'll be one of the first groups of students to benefit from this new building. So as I already mentioned, LA is a global hub for innovation. You already know we have Hollywood, we have Santa Monica, we have beautiful beaches. And as I mentioned before, we have Silicon Beach. You can see these big name companies that you recognize here on the map, like Amazon, Hulu, Google, Snapchat, Twitter, etc., YouTube. So these are all here. And then there, like I said, there's also like, it's a great place for startups too. It's one of the biggest startup ecosystems. And yeah, like as I mentioned, it's just really beautiful. I live here. I'm not an engineer. I just work for the university. And I moved here myself for the weather. I moved here for the opportunities. I moved here from the East Coast. I grew up with snow. I wanted to have the experience of like living in both New York and Los Angeles. And I've been in California now for over a decade, and it's home to me now. And I love it here. I don't take for granted that I can be outside every day walking and enjoying this weather, and it's just a really beautiful place to be. And if you love nature, we have a lot of really cool hikes. If you want to see snow, you can even see snow. It's only a couple hours away. So we have the desert too. We have all different types of climates in California. It's a very diverse climate, and it's very unique to in the United States. So these are just a few like landmarks in LA. And so you can see on here, of course, like at the bottom, you see within 15 miles, those are some of the famous places that you've all heard of. And then just within walking distance from USC is all these other places. Like we have like three or four museums that you can walk to across the street from campus. We have a Rose Garden. We have the Shrine Auditorium where we have big concerts coming through. At USC itself, we have USC Village, which is pretty unique for a university campus. We have a grocery store. We have a shopping center. We have all different kinds of food there. We have cafes. and it's literally part of the campus, but it's open to the public as well. So even community members come. We even have a yoga studio on campus, and then we have free yoga classes on campus as well through our yoga center. So, and we have a gym, we have 2 gyms, we have just a lot on, so much going on campus. You don't even have to leave campus to have fun. But when you do want to leave campus, you're in the second largest city in the US. So you can literally do anything that you want to do. And we have so many different cool neighborhoods, so much great food from all over the world, people from all over the world. You literally have the world at your fingertips. It's such an amazing place to be. Okay, so of course, I'm going to wax poetic about LA all day, but you're like, okay, but I need a job. All right, so we're here to help with that. That's why you're coming to grad school, because you want to expand your knowledge, but you also want to get a job after you graduate, obviously. So our Viterbi Career Connections office is devoted to this. So we have a general career center for the entire university, which all students are welcome to take advantage of their services. And we also have one that's exclusively for Viterbi students. So when you would be a Viterbi student on campus, you have access to all of the services that Viterbi Career Connections has to offer. I'm not going to read the entire screen. You can see on here, these are a sample of everything that we offer at the Viterbi Career Connections office. And so they work exclusively with engineering and CS students. And so they're trained specifically on how they can help you make your resume exactly how they know, recruiters in this field are looking for. They want to help you. They'll help you with mock interviews. We have big employers and small employers coming to campus all the time. So all of those big names, Silicon Beach companies, they all come to recruit our students. But then there's also local companies, there's smaller companies, there's startups. We know that not everybody wants to necessarily work for a big tech firm. Some people want to be a part of something small that will grow, and they want to be part of it from the ground up. And so you have these opportunities to make those connections as well. So on here, you can see this is a sample of last academic year's career activities and recruitment events. Again, I'm not going to read the entire slide, but you can kind of see for yourself. These numbers kind of speak for themselves. We have so much going on. We have so many recruiters coming to campus to meet our students. They know that this is a really amazing school with professors that are going to prepare you to get out there into this field. And so they want to meet our students. USC's name means a lot out here, like not just in California, but even all over the US. People know that USC is one of the best schools. So they want to meet our students. They know that, you're getting a very high quality education, and they know a lot about even the curriculum. A lot of the people that you're going to meet at these fairs, they went to USC or they have friends who went to USC. So they know like that these are challenging courses that are going to really prepare you for getting out there. I also want to mention that the Financial Express in India, they just published an article literally just a few days ago, ranking USC in the top 10 for US universities offering the best OPT and H-1B prospects for Indian students. I know you already know what those acronyms mean, because you're probably thinking that you want to get experience working in the US. And so, we have STEM OPT, and then we have the H-1B, which is the working visa. So if a company sponsors you, then you'll be on the H-1B. And so USC is actually ranked in the top 10 for offering the best OPT and H-1B prospects for India students. I said that twice because I want it to sink in. And so I want you to know that, you're in good hands, and that our students who come out of USC, that a lot of them do end up getting good placements with OPT and H-1B. Of course, nothing is a guarantee in life, but we are proud that we are in the top 10 for India students in these placements. So these are the top companies hiring students from India specifically. You can see on the screen here. Again, I'm not going to read them out loud, but you might recognize some of these names. And maybe there's probably someone here that you don't recognize. So as you can see, there's even exciting opportunities that you haven't heard of. And so India students who studied at USC, they're working at these companies. So these are people you could even reach out to on LinkedIn, and they have been in your shoes before too. So this is just a sample too. This is just the top companies. There's way more companies. It's not limited to just this list. But our alums are very receptive to connecting on LinkedIn, as well as our current students. So you can feel free to look up people on LinkedIn who maybe are from India but are studying or studied at USC and now they're working at one of these companies, or even people that aren't from India that are working that went to USC Viterbi. You can kind of ask them what their career path was like. So here's some CPT data. You probably know what CPT means, but if not, then that is the curricular practical training. So that's generally when students are studying their degree, then they can get some internship experience or work experience. And you can see the data here on the screen. So for example, in summer 2024, we had 736 CPT students, and over half of them were Indian. So our Indian students are definitely getting good placements. So of course, these are some of our current students actually. And so you can see we have students from all different backgrounds, all over the world, lots of friendly faces. And many of these students on the screen here are our student ambassadors. And so you can connect with them as early as this webinar, but also afterwards on our student ambassador platform, which I'll get to shortly as well. So our Viterbi Graduate Mentorship Program is something that you might like to keep on your radar. So this program is, so students who are new to USC, they can connect with a mentor who's already a student in Viterbi, in the Viterbi grad program specifically. And so you can have kind of like a built-in friend who will help show you the ropes of like what it's like to be a student at USC in Viterbi. And they try to connect you with a mentor who's usually in the same academic department and degree level as you. And they, can give you advice. You can ask them about like what professors they like, what classes to take. You can ask them for any kind of advice. Maybe you're like wanting to know, okay, how do you balance, the workload from these classes with the fun things that you want to do outside of your studies? And they kind of have already been through the stages of being new to USC, and they might have really good advice. And then if you wanted to, you could become a mentor after you're kind of more like a seasoned student, and you can take a new student under your wing too. So it's a fun way to receive advice, but also give back to the new students when you're a mentor as well. So we will have our welcome week and orientation. The orientation is going to be in early August. So if you commit to USC, then you'll get all of the information about the orientation. Everything will come to your email. So don't worry about, getting left behind with any information. Everything you need to know, we will tell you. The various departments will reach out to you in your email so you won't miss anything. So we talked a lot about academics, and we definitely want you to have fun while you're at USC as well. Of course, you're going to put your head down and study a lot, but we want you to enjoy the atmosphere. So part of USC is that it is kind of like a traditional US university campus. It is like what you've seen in the movies. That is that university. You wanted the traditional US university experience. You're going to get that at USC. So we do have all of the things that are famous in American movies. We have the big American football stadium. We have the marching band. We have cheerleaders. We have fraternities and sororities. We have all of that stuff. It's actually real at USC. It's not real at every US university, but it's real at USC. We have all of it. It's just like the movies. And so we have all of these opportunities. And so there's so much opportunity for having fun. It is a big sports atmosphere. It's super fun, even if you don't care about American football right now, which the odds are pretty high that you don't. But you're probably going to love it when you're at USC because it's just such a fun atmosphere. And it's just very unique too. I think I didn't have this at my university in New York. And so I think it's super fun to have these experiences. And there's a lot of graduate student clubs. If you didn't know, USC actually has more grad students than undergrad. And that might not mean anything to you, but that's actually super unique and probably different than even where you're studying, or it's definitely different from a lot of US universities. Most US universities have more undergrads than grads, but we have more master's and PhD students than we have bachelor students. So you'll be in the majority population of your degree level. And so it's not going to be completely undergrad heavy. It's going to be also grad heavy. And so you're going to meet lots of grad students from all different disciplines. So you'll be able to relate to a lot of students who are going through the same level of their degree as you in engineering and CS, but also like there's law students, there's med students, there's dentist students, like all different kinds of students who are studying higher level degrees. And so you'll meet a lot of people who are your age and older as well. And so it's really cool. So you meet people from all different ages too, which I love. I just think it's amazing to meet all different kinds of people. And we have tons of graduate student clubs as well. So we even have one for the Viterbi graduate students. Anyone who's a Viterbi grad student is welcome to join this. But you're welcome to join almost all of the clubs. There's so many different clubs for grad students in Viterbi and outside. And then there's so many clubs that are open to people that are undergrad or grad too. And then this is just a snapshot of some of the involvement opportunities. And we have involvement fairs at the beginning of the semester. And so you can meet with the different clubs too. And you can see which clubs and organizations you might like to join. We're also devoted to wellness at USC. So of course we want you to stay healthy while you're here. Healthy mind, healthy body. So in addition to like the free yoga classes and like the gyms on campus and opportunities to just walk outside all the time because the weather is nice. If you ever just want to like talk to somebody, we have our very own director of student wellness who exclusively works with Viterbi students. So if you ever just like need support, we're definitely here for you. And we have an entire team devoted to this as well. Okay, so the next step. So like I said before, we know you might have other options, but definitely you're obviously considering USC if you have not already committed because you're here today. So we do hope to see you this fall. And if you have made your decision, or when you do make your decision, if you are going to come to USC, by the way, in the background, that's Viterbi right there. That's our quad. That's our garden. So you can see it's really beautiful. You can just sit out there and you can study, or you can catch up with friends, have lunch, listen to the peaceful sounds of the fountain. It's just really beautiful. So anyway, when you submit your statement of intent, which you can find in your USC portal, it's YOUSC. You can see that on the screen at the top. You go in there. If you need to see what date your statement of intent and commitment deposit are due, go through the motions of you're about to deposit and it will show you your date. You don't have to pay any money just to see the date, but just pretend you're gonna deposit just to see when it's due. And then you can always close out of it if you're not ready yet to commit, but that will tell you your deadline. And then if you are ready to commit, then you can pay the deposit and submit your statement of intent. There's an extra step for you, which would be the Trojan International process. So there you will request your I-20 and initiate the visa process. You probably know this already, but if not, the I-20 is the document that you'll get to take to get your visa. Very important document. And then you'll also be able to access your pre-orientation resources. You can join the Viterbi mentorship program. You actually don't have to submit your statement of intent to join any of our academic webinars, but you can do that anytime. We have different webinars for different departments where the professors or advisors or both, plus us, plus current students, are there to share about the different departments. You may have already attended them too. And then you can explore housing options too. Okay, so about housing. You can see we have USC owned housing on the screen. There's some of the names on there. We have off-campus housing as well. there's a lot of housing nearby, either on campus or in the nearby neighborhoods. The on-campus housing is a bit more competitive, so if you are interested in applying for that, I would recommend doing so ASAP. You do have to submit your deposit before you can do that. But you can learn more about that on our website. And then off-campus housing is more abundant because you can live anywhere in LA. These are a few neighborhoods on the screen here. If you're not taking a car with you, you can use public transit, which is accessible to a lot of these neighborhoods on the screen. A lot of people don't come with cars, and the metro stop is actually right on campus. That same metro will take you to downtown Santa Monica by the pier. It will take you to downtown Los Angeles. It will take you to Koreatown. It will take you to a lot of neighborhoods. You can go to Hollywood on that same metro. So in the neighborhood around the university is called University Park. There's a lot of students that live there. It's walking distance to campus. And it just happens to work out that it's one of the more affordable neighborhoods in LA too. So I think a lot of our students live there because they can save money and it's walking distance to campus. I lived there myself too. It was a lot cheaper than where I live now. It's, yeah, and I liked living there too because there's a lot going on, through the campus and nearby restaurants and stuff like that. So as I mentioned before, we have student ambassadors. These are current Viterbi grad students, and they're on our website. You can chat with them. You can narrow it down to students from specific countries or specific majors. So if you want to speak with someone from India, you can connect with someone from India. But maybe you want to speak with someone from America or from a different country. You want to hear about their experiences. You can connect with them as well. You can ask them about how their transition was coming from wherever they're from to USC. You can ask them for advice about housing. They are, a lot of them are living nearby campus, so they have the most relevant advice about housing. You can ask them about professors, or ask them about like what clubs they're in, ask them how they became an ambassador. We do hire ambassadors every year. Maybe you'll be an ambassador next year and you can be helping out with these webinars. So there's a lot of opportunities like that to get involved in. So we're actually going to start the Q&A now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we have several students here now, current students. So for the four current students here right now, if you could all turn on your cameras, and I'm going to have you introduce yourselves one by one. So when you introduce yourself, you can just say like your name, your hometown, and what you're studying at USC. And then you can just go ahead and pass it on to the next student yourself. So you can choose the next student. So we're going to start with Chelsea, and then Chelsea, after you introduce yourself, go ahead and pass it to one of the other students.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I am a first year, second semester MS Computer Science student, and my hometown is London.
Okay, I'll pass it on to the next student then. I need a break from talking. I just wanted to sip on my tea for a minute.
So sorry.
I'm human. And so for the next student, we'll have Devashish, if you can introduce yourself and then pass it on to one of the other students.
Hi everyone, so I'm Devashish. I'm from Mumbai. Currently, I'm studying MS in Healthcare Data Science. And I just want to add that 2 years ago, I remember attending this webinar as a student, and like I'm in my final semester now, and like I'm on the other side. Back then, it was like evening in India. Right now, I'm joining this super early 8 a.m. in the morning as a panelist. So I'm like just happy about it. Yeah, Saili, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Devashish. Thank you so much. Hi everyone, this is Saili. I'm from Maharashtra. I am currently pursuing masters in engineering management and I'm focusing on product management. So if you have any queries regarding that, feel free to reach out.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Radha Krishna and I am from Hyderabad, India. So I'm in my second semester at USC. I'm studying Masters in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. So if you have any doubts regarding the academics or campus life or thesis or anything, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or on my Unibuddy profile as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all so much for introducing yourself, and thanks for letting me have my quick tea break. I'm not used to presenting this early and being on camera this early, so I also appreciate you all being here at the top of the morning too, and so and Devashish, I love when there's a full circle moment as well. I'm glad that this webinar, I know this webinar wasn't like the only factor that made you decide to come to USC, but I'm glad that it was a part of your experience when you were sitting on the other side. And so I'm gonna just go through I'm looking through the Q&A, and I'm just looking to see if there's questions that I can direct towards you guys. Which it looks like a lot of the questions are kind of not necessarily for students. I do see that some of you, okay, so Shreya is asking in the Q&A if any of you did if any of you are doing a thesis, and I'll add on to that because I also saw a question about research. So can any of you speak on, like, if you're doing research as part of your master's, and or if you're doing a thesis, feel free, anybody can jump in.
So I'm currently working in a research lab at USC, but it is not part of my curriculum. I'm just volunteering in a lab, helping on a research project. But the professor has told me that if I want, I can like do PhD under him. It is just that I have not decided if PhD is something I want to do right now. But there is an option. There is a course called DSEI 560. So if anyone wants to do a thesis or have a capstone project, they can choose that course. DSCF 560.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, Devashish, I'm also doing a directed research with one of the professor as a part of curriculum. So I have been working with the professor since last 6-7 months now, and still continuing to do that. So there are a lot of opportunities to work with the professor or different research faculties at USC.
Okay, thank you so much. Somebody is asking if there's an admitted student WhatsApp. Oh, I see that somebody might have already put it in the chat, but they said it's not working for them. I'm not sure if one of the India team members was putting that. I don't know if our current students would have, probably not, but if the India team, if anyone knows about WhatsApp, feel free to put it somewhere in the chat. I'm just checking. We have a few students raising their hand. If you can direct your questions to the Q&A, that would be better. So while we wait for more students to come in, more questions to come in, I wanted to ask about, a lot of students do usually have questions about housing. So do any of you want to share your experience on how you found housing?
For me, I found housing, like I originally wanted to go through the USC housing portal, and I actually met my current flatmates through the USC housing portal, but we decided to go off campus together. The main reason for that is because the housing that is offered for USC graduate students anyway is not actually within the main campus itself of the school. It's like slightly north of campus. As a Viterbi student, most of our classes are going to be on the southwest side of campus. So I actually find that living on the west side of campus is going to be closer for like just walking back and forth towards classes. So I would recommend that for everyone as well, but it's really up to you. Not sure if anyone else has any opinions on this.
Yeah, so even I had applied to USC housing, but I think USC housing is a little competitive. So while coming here, we had already formed a group of like 3, 4 students who had decided to like apply together. But when you are applying together as a group, sometimes it is like difficult to be matched with an apartment. So we found our previous apartment, we found it through housing.com and Zillow. And this year, like after being over here for a year, we just came to know about like the different apartments other students live at. So we found even a better deal. So after first year, we changed and like my rent is like even cheaper now. So like I have been living off campus for both years.
I
Yeah,
can add on a
same.
little bit. Yes, Siley, do you want to go ahead?
No, please go ahead, Vedaya.
Sure. So back when I did this, which was not very long ago, I found leads through Facebook groups. Now, like I said, I think I answered someone's question earlier regarding housing. If you're looking for housing on Facebook groups, be very careful of any scammers because these groups have some of them, but definitely some leads are authentic on there. Aside from this, though, definitely housing.com is one of them. We found a lot of apartments on there. So just make sure you're talking to a trusted person and do not pay anything before. Just make sure you're able to go to the place and then sort of give any deposit or whatever is needed. Aside from this, though, very famous between all students here is WhatsApp groups. I connected with a few alum and some people who are already at USC in my time, and I asked them to add me to some WhatsApp groups that had leads. And the WhatsApp one is what finally worked for me, and that's the lead I ended up pursuing. And I was living pretty close from the campus, just a 5-minute walk on the 30th Street. I started off there and eventually moved later when I could explore the place by myself. So yeah, definitely would recommend checking that option out as well.
And
Thank you all so much
also,
for sharing. Oh, go ahead. Okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, and also I suggest that use Google Maps to find out the places where there are opportunities. So I used Google Maps also. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Zoom problems interrupting each other sometimes. I'm very bad at that. So anyway, I have another question for the current students about your involvement on campus. So as I mentioned before, we have the Viterbi grad student ambassadors. And so all of the students that you see here on screen right now are ambassadors. In addition to being ambassadors, are you involved in any other clubs and organizations? Are any of you involved in, for example, the Viterbi mentorship program that I talked about, or the Viterbi Grad Student Association, or maybe something random that I might not know that you're involved in, that you can talk a little bit about, like the student life?
Hi, so I've participated in the mentorship program. I was connected with a with a mentor who was like from the same field as me. It was like very interesting to get advice from her, and she also helped me connect with many other people in the industry. I am also part of a club called ACM, Association of Computing Mechanics. And the only reason I actually am part of it is because every Tuesday they have a study session where we just go study together and they give us free boba. So that is the reason I am interested in that. And then there's many other interesting clubs, like there's an anime club. We just hang out together, watch anime movies. Then there's a chess club. Oh, I like to play badminton, so like I like the badminton club. I have many other friends who are into rock climbing or just hiking, and they are part of those clubs. So yeah, it's really nice.
I can add on. I actually, during my time, was very involved on campus. I ended up launching the graduate chapter for Society of Women Engineers in Viterbi, and then as also the reviving president for Engineering Management Student Association. So this is more from the academic perspective, though. But if you're looking to get involved on campus, there's opportunities not only in the academic perspective, but you're looking to be in professional societies, or you're looking at sports, like you mentioned, badminton, cricket. There's even one for cricket. And then aside from these just hobbies and such, there's a group for matcha lovers. So if you're looking at it, there's tons of opportunities for you to get involved on campus as also a Viterbi grad mentor in my time. And I was a course producer for 2 courses. So I think I figured out a lot of ways to get involved, and that really kept my MS experience really good, because I think someone asked about your general experience when we settled in at USC. I think I made a home away from home in the student dogs, some really good friends over there to support me through everything, be it just hectic parts of, studying for your exams, or preparing for midterms, or just be it support from the perspective perspective of, hey, how are you doing today? Is all good with you? So it's really just that simple. And you get to explore all these student organizations during the involvement fair, which will happen at the beginning of the semester, where all student orgs will usually, be part of the exhibition, and you can see what are the requirements to join, and you can get involved. So definitely USC has a very enriching student life and a student culture there. So please make sure to make use of all these resources that are available for you guys, because there's plenty and there's a big plethora, and you just have to make sure you tap into it.
Yeah, I really agree with you, Vaidehi, and I like the way you mentioned home away from home. So it's like there are a lot of things that happens at USC campus. It's just that you need to push yourself to go out, explore things. There are so many chapters going on for women specific clubs are there. If you're interested in startups or things like that, there are a couple of competitions that happens. There are multiple mentors who are there to ready to mentor you. So it's all about how you want to go out and explore and engage with that. So there is Engage SC app as well available, where every day there are a couple of events that are keep happening, and they usually post it there, so you just need to go and attend those events. And for Indian students, we also have AIS, then we also have HSO, which is Hindu organization. All these organizations usually plan and events as per the Indian culture. So we have Diwali festival, Holi festival, and all those festivals. So you can either volunteer or you can at least go and attend with your friends. So it's very homely here. It's just that go out and explore and get engaged with all these things. Yeah.
Thank you all for sharing your perspectives. I'm cutting you. I'm so sorry. You can go ahead and share if you want.
I think exploring is the only option to make connections. So that will help a lot for your job prospects as well. So every department has different organizations which are run by the students, which are student organizations. So I was part of aero design team, which is under my department of aerospace and mechanical engineering. So I met a lot of new people there. So like we built a new flight in the last semester. So we make a lot of connections there. So I encourage all of you to join clubs and involve in them. Yeah, that will help a lot.
Okay, we have a few more questions, time for a few more questions. So I'll just go through a couple more. I wish we could answer all of them, but I know that my team is actively trying to answer the ones that won't get answered out loud, at least via the Q&A on chat. So Shreya was asking in the chat, in the Q&A, what made you guys choose USC over another university? So probably at least one of you here maybe applied to another university, at least one other university. Just wondering what kind of set USC apart, like what made you choose USC specifically?
Honestly, would you guys mind if I go first for this one? I applied to, I think, 3 or 4 more universities, and particularly for me, USC was one of my main top choices for my dream school. And the reason why, most certainly, is, Maria, the entire presentation that you just walked us through. If you're looking at it from the academic perspective, there are almost, I think, 55 plus master's programs. I could be wrong on the number, but there's so many programs, so you are able to first work through your curriculum just the way you want. Aside from this, USC, like we mentioned a little bit earlier during the presentation, has very strong CPT and OPT support, which means you can work while you're studying, provided you're able to manage your workload, your course load, your curriculum. And then just another thing, and this is one of the main considerations for me, was weather as well. So aside from looking at resources available within the university, for me, I also wanted it to be geographically located in a location where it's not very cold. I cannot myself survive in cold conditions. That added on. And lastly, I had so many of my seniors from either my college or just people from my network who were at USC, and I just saw their track and I thought, hey, this is a great investment for myself. And I think like I said previously, there's so many resources available which are not readily available to students in other universities. This is speaking from my personal experience and my network. So yeah, that's definitely why I chose to study at USC. It's the rankings are exceptional. My program was wonderful. The curriculum was exactly what I wanted to study. And then definitely the other things just added on to my experience, I guess.
Hi. So whether he said that USC was one of her like dream universities, in my case, I actually had an admit from an Ivy League university. So many people always ask me why did I like not choose that university? So the thing is, the the course I got admitted into from that university was just a 1 year course, and I talked with many students from that university, and they told me that they feel 1 year is not enough to learn all the necessary skills, and they don't feel confident enough when they go out into the job market after just learning that course for a year. The other thing is, I got admits from some universities where the tuition fee was like out of my budget. In some universities, they were like in the middle of nowhere and they did not have like a very good campus. Whereas at USC, you are in LA, and I really like the USC campus a lot. But there's also another disadvantage that the cost of living is more expensive here. But I think it's fine for me. And like some universities were in a very cold climate. So just like Vaidhi said, actually back then when I was in India, I used to think I would be able to handle the cold. I just thought that it would not matter. I would just wear like more layers. I would wear a sweater or something and it will be fine. But sometimes when it hits like 11 or 12 degrees Celsius at night in LA, I still feel cold even though I'm wearing layers. So I'm just thankful that I chose LA and did not go into a very cold place. Yeah. Oh, also another reason I found out this later, but it helps. So I actually have a very distant relative, an uncle who lives in LA. So I often get to visit his house sometimes. So it is really nice to have like family in the city where I'm from. So that is also one of the reasons.
Yeah, totally agree with both of you. Just one liner for this is like consider the budget, the coursework that you're taking. Is it relevant to what you have been doing? For example, you had done a computer science program, then is it, relevant to what you're looking for in the future as well? And definitely weather. I mean, it's California weather is the best in the world. So consider that as well. So it depends on person to person, but a couple of things like budget, coursework, what is it that you're looking forward in next 5-10 years, and yeah, that's something that made me choose USC.
For me, the main reason why I chose USC is the course curriculum. That's one of the reason, and also the professors. So I wanted to do a thesis and a research in this aerospace field, and USC is one of the best schools I have seen so far. The other school curriculums as well, and the lab facilities which they offer. I think USC has the best lab equipment within aerospace and mechanical engineering. So that is one of the reason for me to choose USC, and also the weather as well.
Okay, I
For me,
also go ahead, Chelsea. Go for it.
For me, I feel like in terms of the actual course content, it's not as important for me because I feel like in these top level universities, the actual quality of the classes that you get are going to be roughly similar. The content is going to be roughly similar, honestly. Like no matter if you apply for here or if you apply to any like UCLA, for example. For me, it's like the job opportunities that come after the kind of events that we have like on campus, the extracurricular we can get involved in, the ease of access to research opportunities and stuff, because this is what is going to set us up as international students. I don't really think, for me, it was that important to choose like, oh, this university, like the classes are amazing, like the class size, for example, or anything like that. But that's just my personal opinion. I definitely think that USC has one of the better programs for like connection and alumni network and stuff.
Thank you all for sharing your perspectives. We only have about 5 minutes left. I do want to acknowledge that, I know that the majority of people who are tuning in today are living in India. And so this is a big move. Obviously, it's, around the world. And so, of course, all of the students who are with us here today are international students. And so I wanted to ask the students, and Vaidehi, if you have anything that you want to contribute as well. We only have a few minutes, so but if anybody wants to just speak about like how your experience has been as an international student at USC, do you feel like the environment is supportive to international students? I mean, obviously I think it is, but I'm not an international student. But hearing from actual people who are coming from other countries to study, like the audience here today would be doing if they come. How has the transition been? And do you feel like, USC has a lot of support in place for people to adjust to living in a different country?
Yeah, I'll go first and I'll keep it short. Definitely, I feel like when I moved to LA, again, new country, everything's uncertain. You don't know how things will pan out, but for sure, there are a lot of resources. For one, you will have a very strong community presence at USC, be it if you're looking to be with, specific, if you want to just be with, let's say, your people that feel like home, so from Indians, but the overall community is so big and so huge, and they're very welcoming. You can participate in a plethora of events that are very cultural in nature, so you can really explore aside from Indian culture also. That's something I did really very strongly while I was there. But they're very welcoming in terms of resources. So it's a new country, you don't know how to do the taxes there. So USC has a program wherein they do webinars to teach you about how to manage your finances and taxes. So just overall, if you want to navigate CPT, OPT, everything regarding your career, Viterbi has their own career center aside from USC's main career center. So when you're an international student, you don't know a lot of these things and how they work. You have not one but two career centers trying to support your needs regarding, trying to find a good internship or a good full-time job. And I think I talked a little bit about the student experience earlier. So overall, I've made some really good friends in my time. People I call family now, not even friends. So all of these people I've met because of USC and USC's network, and not only from the academic perspective, but also from, let's say, the entrepreneurial perspective. I met a lot of great people while I was studying at USC who were, very active in entrepreneurship, and they were mentoring me. So just overall, through and through, there's a very strong community sentiment throughout USC, and I would for sure. I think I'll never stop being a Trojan. I think I said this during the commencement video as well. I'm never gonna stop being a Trojan for sure. So yeah.
All
Okay.
right, I'll go next.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll also keep it very short. So, it was a big move for me as well, coming back all the way from India, coming to a completely new country. But what kept me very excited was the conscious decision I took that yes, I want to pursue this master, and USC has been my on the dream school, so I was very sure that this is gonna be an amazing journey for me. You just need to come up with a very very positive attitude that whatever is gonna be there, you are gonna fight for that. To be honest and to be blunt, it's not easy walk. It's gonna be a lot of struggle, a lot of things, but it's gonna be such a beautiful growth for each one of you. So this has been my journey. I was very different when I was in India, and when I came here, I became altogether a very mature, more different person. So it's been a really amazing journey for me with respect to personal, professional, and all the growth of life. So it may sound a way too philosophical, but once you land here, you will find that there are so many people, and as Vaidi mentioned, there are friends here who we call it as family right now. So it's like finding your new home here, with the career and everything, align. So yeah, that's been my journey so far.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up since it is it's been an hour. So I think it's 9:30 p.m. in India. It's 9 a.m. here in LA. So thank you so much to everyone who tuned in today. Also special thanks to all of our panelists and my colleagues and the student panelists. Really appreciate you all sharing your insight. It's always great to see you and hear from you. And to the students who are listening in, we do hope to see you on campus this fall. Look, you already have like 4 new friends and you can connect with any of them on our ambassador platform. They've been dropping their Unibuddy chat platform links and their LinkedIn's in the chat. So you can feel free to reach out to them if you have any questions. I also put the Viterbi graduate admissions email in the chat. So if you want to connect with me or any of the admission colleagues, we're here for you as well. And then once you decide that you are going to come to USC, you'll be hearing from various offices, connecting with you about orientation and advising and all of the questions that you're going to have, the international student office, things like that. So best of luck as you make this decision. I know it's a big decision. Obviously, we all highly recommend it, and we do hope to see you this fall. But we're here for you if you do have any questions or concerns that come up. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your night and fight on.
Fight on.